Hello, America. My name is Dirk Harkins, your host of I Got Your Six, People Helping People, where I talk to ordinary people who do extraordinary things. And tonight I have a young lady on here joining me today who I met, about a year ago, maybe?
Yeah, about a year, maybe year and a half ago.
Miss Emily Dodds. Thank you for joining me
Yes,
today.
thank you. Thank you for having me.
It was a great conversation we had on the phone the other day, the topic we're about to have, but I'm just a couple years older than you. I think I graduated probably a couple years older than you in school. But actually, I'm your dad's age. I started my first day in the coal mine I ever started was under there with your dad. We started the same day at Harrison Mining, and how God works and familiar and His ways, full circle.
Yes.
Probably 20-some years later, here we are sitting here doing a podcast together, talking about how we met. But give us a little background, and then we'll get into about yourself, what you're doing now. And
so right now, I actually just started working about 6 months ago. After what I've been through, I am working at a company called CareStar. It helps individuals who are going through mental health issues and who might have chronic illnesses like cancer or diabetes or have gone through a transplant, get more Medicaid money so they can get the services that they need. So I go into the houses, I do assessments. I'm actually in the Tri-County area, so I'm home, I'm here. So I get to work out of my house, and then I'm on the road 2 days a week. So I just started that job a couple weeks ago. The first job that I tried out wasn't really my thing, but I'm just getting back out into the work world. So it's been a rocky one, but I'm so happy to be back, and it's been great.
yeah, you're back in the fight. You're back out there getting
Yes.
it, you know?
I'm back being the 31-year-old adult that I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, what you deserve, you know what I mean,
Yes.
to be the best version of yourself. And that job just seems like it'd be a perfect fit for you, you know, just getting out there and helping people, giving back. You know, let's talk about this. You know, I knew you had an accident, a very a tragic accident that, you know, you're blessed just to be here.
Yes.
And then you had some struggles with that, unfortunately. And over the past 2 to 3 years, I've heard little bits and pieces of your story, but I didn't know the whole story. And it was always like people asking me if this would help you.
Yes.
This TMS, this sonal that we're getting ready to talk about. And then I remember trying to reach a couple different times, and you know, through your hard times and difficult times, sometimes you're trying different things and you're fed up. You know, you're thinking nothing's going to help, and you really don't want to listen to anybody. That's how I was, and I run into a lot of that. But we just didn't get to, for about 3 years, I think it was. And then finally, when I was in Florida, Amy and I, and you reached out, and we was able to get a machine back here for you. Would you tell us a little bit about, you know, what you was doing prior to your accident, and then?
Yeah, so I was working for a company. I was actually working here in Cadiz. I had a house in Cadiz and Carrollton that I was overseeing, and they were individuals with IDD diagnosis. And I was at our home facility in St. Clairsville, and they were demonstrating how to therapy horses, okay? And we were there, and they had brought 3 therapy horses to our facility where there was a patch of grass. And they asked us as a group if they could have 3 volunteers. I was one of the younger ones that worked at the facility. I honestly was kind of voluntold to get on the horse by a manager. So I was like, okay. I grew up in the country. but we are not horse people. But I've ridden a horse before. I said, why is there no saddle? They said, it's safer that way. Well, these are therapeutic people who are around these horses all the time. And I decided, okay, if you're telling me it's safe to get on this horse without a saddle and, you know, you're the one demonstrating, then I will get on the horse. She got down on one knee. She told me to use her other knee to leverage to get up on the horse. The first 3 circles, she had me blindfolded, all 3 of us blindfolded. And we did 3 laps in this grass area. And we stopped. She talked, explained the demonstration, explained what the horse is, you know, what this could do to our IDD, which is intellectual developmental disability individuals, could benefit from this exercise. So the next exercise, she takes the blindfolds off of us. She then goes on to say the front person is going to spread their arms out. The next person is going to lie on their back. And then she gets to me and she tells me to turn completely around on the horse. So then we do 3 more laps. As I am turned backwards, we stop all the horses, I assume, because my horse stops. And she begins talking again. Well, I let go of the horse. I was a catcher for many years here at Harrison Central and travel ball. My knees were aching, catcher knees. And I didn't realize that the person leading the horse was going to move the horse forward. My eyes were facing the back of the horse. I felt the horse starting to move, and I tried to lock my knees back in because that's the only way I could keep a hold of the horse. Then I proceeded to go off the horse, and I laid it straight on my frontal forehead. And I do not believe I passed out, but the full rush of the just the impact, I was able to drive myself home that day from that incident. Once I got home, the dizziness, the vomiting, everything started to hit me. I was diagnosed with a concussion and a neck sprain. But for the next 6 months, I was bedridden. I could not leave my bedroom. Light, sound, anything would make me physically ill. My parents pretty much supported me. I did get some compensation from work, but the headaches never really went away. Then my workers' comp got cut. I was living at a house out here in Cadiz. My parents said, listen, like, I'm sorry, but like, you need to get back to work. In which I understood. I was an adult. I had to make an adult decision. The migraines never stopped. The neck sprain, I did some physical therapy. It helped. And then I went back to work. I worked for a year. I got a new primary care physician. He helped me with many medications, many different medications. Some would work for a month. I would have to go back, and we would change it. I think the longest one worked for 3 months. I would say at this job, I would work maybe a full 4 hours and have to take a nap. I physically could not work a full day. And then when I left this job, I started working at a different job. Not because I wasn't fulfilled at this job, just because the grant that I was working on was not going to be lasting much longer. And I started working here at the Meadows in Cadiz, and I wasn't there 4 months before my seizures started. I had a terrible migraine, and I called my aunt, and I called my primary care physician, and they said, come in, we'll give you a Toradol shot, which helps with migraines. And once that happened, I got to the doctor's office. My aunt was going to the doctor, and they said, we'll give you the Toradol shot. And that's when I had my first seizure. And for 6 to 8 months, I would have a total of anywhere between 10 to 18 seizures a day.
From the migraine headaches and just medication, or just the migraine headaches putting you into the seizures?
Migraine headaches putting me into seizures. Yeah. So it was a difficult time, and I wasn't finding, there was tests, there was hospitals in and out, there was no results. They couldn't find a neurological reason. It was hard for my family, for me. I would have these episodes where I wouldn't know who I was. I would walk across town not knowing who I was, barefoot. Yeah. One time my uncle found me in Hopedale, dazed, not knowing who I was, and I just got in the car with him.
That's got to be super scary, to have that kind of relived to you, because you're not even don't realize you're across town in your bare feet, and you're not understanding why you're having these seizures and not understanding this. Then somebody brings you home or have to call to get you a ride, and the next day they tell you that. That's got to be a very scary situation. I'm sorry you had to go through that, and I'm just glad you're being open and honest and with your story, and it's very it's strong of you to do that. Just you have the ability to help a lot of other people with this story. It's very powerful. But when you was talking about all the medications, and then they would try this one, or after 2 or 3 months, your body just gets used to that, and then they give you, okay, we got you on this amount of morphine, and they 50 milligrams, and then after 3 months, whatever, they just up that, and then on top of all of that stuff, that they just keep doing it, can get you addicted to some of these drugs. The side effects that come along with it. You watch them commercials, they say this pill will help for migraines, and that's what they say for 15 seconds, and then for the next 45 seconds to a minute, they're talking about all the side effects. And I feel like that was probably a lot of different things you were experiencing as you were going through this. So from that period where you started having the migraines and going through there, and they were looking for something, they couldn't find anything neurological, how long of a span was that?
It was probably those 8 months. They finally were able to diagnose me with non-epileptical seizures. And that's where I began my journey with the Cleveland Clinic. They were able to put me in with a neuropsychologist. She was amazing. We worked a program. So, yes, non-epileptic seizures or psychosocial seizures, they do believe are psychological. So they're brought on by trauma. Now they will say, my court case right now will tell you that this is all brought on from my past trauma, my history of trauma. But my neurologist will tell you that without the impact that I faced from this concussion, my brain technically is not healed. My brain cannot heal properly because of this impact. So therapy, and when I went through this treatment and, I was still having the headaches, but I was able to really get to know my aura with my seizures. I get a copper taste in my mouth. My left arm goes numb. I'm able to, get myself in a safe place. I'm able to, just let it happen. I talked to my dad was really, my dad is one of the strongest people I know and my best friend, but he said, Emily, you need to get a hold of Dirk. Please get a hold of Dirk. I'm telling you, I think this is going to help because my parents were lost. Because even though I was not having the seizures as often, I still couldn't function because I didn't know when they were going to. I was still getting them often enough that I couldn't go do anything in my life. I couldn't go back to work. I couldn't be trusted with my goddaughters. I couldn't drive. And that's not me. I travel. Me and my best friend like to go to do witchy things in October. I used to work 2 jobs at a time. Like, I am just an outgoing, loving person, and I was not that person. My personality completely changed. And so when he told me to get a hold of you, like, you were our last hope.
Well, I'm grateful to God that he did tell you that and you did listen to him. And, that had to break your dad's heart, your parents' hearts to see you going down that path. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Not being able to be the best version of yourself, struggling with those things and not knowing how, not being able to get a diagnosis, and then wondering what the heck's going on, with all that migraines. That's something that I suffered with, was migraine headaches for 12 years before I did TMS. And within 4 days, it relieved my migraine headaches. Mm-hmm. And it just blew me away. And I thought at that point in time, if that was the only thing that TMS would do for me, if I came back from Texas with my headaches mm-hmm. alleviated, because that was put me down in a rabbit hole where I would take anything I could take to try to get rid of the headaches, or I was just in a bad way. And when it took them headaches away, it just, the energy, the sleep patterns were better at that mm-hmm. point in time. And then the energy came back, and it put me back in the game. So I'm sure that they were pretty devastated to see you feeling and living that way. But we're going to go to a break right now, and we'll be right back. Here's some words from one of our sponsors.
Harco Media is proud to partner with D&E Electric of Ohio. Whether you've got power problems or simply planning an upgrade, go with D&E Electric. Licensed, insured, and bonded in Ohio and West Virginia, they handle all your electrical needs. From panel upgrades and lighting to full electrical installation, residential or commercial, they get the job done safely and done right the first time around. Trusted, reliable, local. Don't wait. Give them a call today, 740-546-3361. Once again, 740-546-3361. Call them today to power your home or business with confidence.
All right, we're back. I got your 6 people helping people, Dirk and Emily here tonight. Emily, right before we went to break, we were discussing about how your dad said that this would be your last hope, and you reached out to me. And I believe there was always hope, but I'm just glad that we did go this route. There's a time in my life before I even did TMS, and I get a lot of this with a lot of the people that I encounter that are hopeless, and then you get this program to them, and they get their hope back. That gives them back, puts them back in the fight. But I remember when you called me when I was down, we were in Florida at the time, and when we brought the machine back, you was excited to use it, and we got the EEG done, and brought the machine over there, mm-hmm. and then you did it. So when you first started it's pretty simple, right? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So just explain how simple it is to people. You know, this is a thing that was, when I first was introduced to TMS, it was just in the state program. It was just available for veterans and first responders. And that was a great way to start to spearhead this, to kind of see with some of the symptoms that they had with post-traumatic stress and things like that, and pain and sleep deprivation. And we've seen how it worked amazingly with that demographic of people. But we do know that every single person who's out there, they don't have to have head injuries like we did, brain injuries, to overcome it. It's just a quality of life machine, really. If you want better sleep, focus, energy, it can do a lot of things. The Formula One racing circuit teams, all the racers individually, they just did the Sonal machine, and they had all these amazing results where they're talking about alertness, quickness, reaction time, and just sleeping, focusing better. So just explain to everybody, I wanted everybody to know that anybody can benefit from this, from an old grumpy guy like me to a young lady like yourself.
So when I got it, I was coming off a treat. I was a little nervous because I was doing the treatment in a facility in Canton, and it was doing more harm than good, if you remember.
Yes.
And I was still a little weary about the treatment. But you assured me that that's not how this was supposed to go, and that try this. This is gonna we're gonna see how this works. And putting this helmet on, and after just laying there for 30 minutes, and I'm telling you, like, if you know those VR sets, my goddaughter was there the first night I tried this, and those VR sets, and it just, my injury was to my frontal, and just sitting that there, and honestly just feeling that comfort, because that's not what it was like the first time. And because my injury was in my frontal, I just felt it all across my front. And I'm telling, and you warned me, you said, like, you might not sleep right the first couple times, or, you might have some issues here and there, but I promise you it'll be okay. I am telling you, I fell asleep with the machine on. And I told my dad, this is going to work. Yeah. And he said, you've only done it once. And I said, I am telling you, this is it.
You knew it then, huh?
I knew it after the first time. And I was so, I couldn't wait for those 30 minutes a day. Yeah. I could not wait. Yeah. My goddaughters could, Emmy, can you stop? No, these are my 30 minutes. Yeah. This is what I need right now. Yeah. And, I got a few extra days with the machine, because, our paths didn't cross. But, like, I remember having a really, really bad headache, and my dad said, go home, put that machine on, and I promise you, you are going to feel better. And I did. And I knew that this machine was, this therapy was actually going to make a difference.
Yeah, I've seen that machine help so many people. There, several years ago, we had it out the sheriff's office. It was a similar machine. At that time, it was called a wave neuro machine. Mm-hmm. They just advanced that to the Sonal, where now you don't have to use a pen drive. You used to use a pen drive to start it. Now it's as simple as the app on your phone. You just hit start, and it does your 30 minutes. And then actually you can do it every 10 hours if you wanted to. So, but if you just, we try to, if you do it in the morning, in the afternoon, or whatever, in the evening, when you come home, you're usually pretty good. But one of the things you was talking about hitting on was that sleep. Man, that's the number one thing that people get right off the bat. And This machine has to have no doctor oversight, and it's 1/100th of the output of the high-end MERT machines that they have out there. So I figured when we first got these things that they're probably going to take a long time to do, have any benefits from it. And before I would do anything to put anything on somebody's head and tell them that this is going to work for them, I'm going to do it first.
Yep.
So I already did it in Texas with the
Yes.
high end. So I did this unit here. I'm gonna put that lid on my head, and within 3 or 4 days, my sleep was getting better, my energy focus was coming back, and I thought maybe it's just because I've already done the high end version, and
Yeah.
it's just kind of a refresher. But just what you said, in one treatment, you had a positive benefit, and I've probably seen that 100 times after one treatment. The guys like Vietnam veterans who haven't slept for 50 years, you know, they can't sleep. Their patterns are interrupted after 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then they can't get back to sleep. They'll sleep 20 minutes at a time, wake up, back sleep. That's a long time. That makes you miserable. That makes your health unhealthy, all kinds of things that affect you. And after 1, 2, 3, 4 treatments, they're coming back in saying they've slept for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. And that's amazing, ain't it?
Yes.
And it's just amazing that I can remember the first time when I brought that machine up, I could see and feel your desperation and your need to want to be better, not to be living like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then to come back, like you said, you had a couple extra days. I wish you had it there every day, whenever you need it.
Yes.
And we're going to have one soon in your backyard, so I'm excited.
Yes, and my dad is, you know, my dad is pushing, and my parents are pushing because they've seen their daughter come back to life.
Yeah.
Honestly, and you know, it was a rough 1.5 to 2 years for all of us. Trips to Cleveland, financial burden, and this is what got me back.
And then 30 days.
Yes.
Got the rest of your life back.
Yes.
You know
And
what I mean?
after those 30 days, it wasn't much longer that I made the decision to go back to work.
Good. That's awesome. Put you right back in the fight. And on the phone conversation we had the other day, when I asked you to come on here and join me, because I know when I talked to you about your benefits, you were so excited and so happy about that. I have a feeling that this won't be the last time that people hear you talk about TMS. I have a feeling that maybe there's going to be things coming down the road that I'm part of, and you want to be part of, that there's going to be places we're going to be working together on this and helping other people out there.
Yes, I am. This is something, as you know, my dad is a veteran. I have always been Daddy's little girl, but I've always had a special place. I've always strived in the veterans. Always wanted to take a special place in that, but I've always wanted to give back to not only my community, but to this area, and this is it.
Yeah.
And after this has done this to me, I can only imagine what this can do for everyone.
Yeah.
So, and mental health matters.
And it's going to take that effort, as in we and us. You know what I mean? I was the first Ohio veteran to get this treatment back in 2018. I had to go to Texas to get it. And I knew that at that point in time, what it started doing for me, that there was people in line back here in Ohio who wanted the same thing. I couldn't be selfish and self-centered and come back and not say, hey, we can't keep sending our veterans or first responders out there to get this treatment. We need it right here in our backyard. And it was in our backyard. Then it was taken away. Now we're bringing it back. And it's going to be people like you and me, people helping people.
Yep.
And going out and spreading the word and bringing this in and thinking of creative ways that we can get this out there to everybody who deserves it. And I'm super excited. And welcome to the team, because I have a feeling we're going to be doing a lot of fun things.
I can't wait.
And, our community is just such a tight-knit community. And this is how it spreads like wildfire. We police up our backyard right here. And then they're policing up theirs. And we're overlapping circles, helping each other out. And then it's contagious, just random acts of kindness. We talk about that on here all the time, random acts of kindness. And this is a good way to give it back to the community. And I see the fire that you got for this. And
I'm so ready.
I'm so excited that you came on here tonight and shared your story. It's very powerful. And it's just what I feel like this is a God story right here. And if you watch this podcast, there's always something about God on here, because it's just how it's part of his perfect plan. How that we talked about earlier, how it all came about at the perfect timing, and now here you go. You're ready to jump into here and start helping people out. But is there anything that you want to add to this or bring awareness to, or it's pain-free, non-evasive, and
it's
right now they can get it for free. So
yeah, I mean, there's no harm in this. There's no disclaimer. There's no side effect. I mean, and within this journey, I not only got myself back, I also, found my journey to God, and I'm so happy that I found you.
Yeah. Hey, he put us in the path together,
Yep.
and here we go. It's exciting. So, you know what? I'm so glad you came on here. I'll have you on here again. We're going to do a lot of wonderful things together. And once we get off this camera, we'll be talking about I want to talk to you about a couple of things before we get out of here.
Of course.
All right?
Thank you.
That being said, God loves you. I got your 6. Until the next time.